With so many characters in FNAF, a lot of them make some questionable choices. Even the so-called good guys have their moments of idiocy. But then again, nobody really talks about those because they're the good guys. And sometimes the good guys need to do bad things to stop the bad guys, right? Well, not all of these mistakes were made to stop William. And Henry, the other owner of Fazbear Entertainment and father of Charlotte, who goes on to possess the puppet, was pretty horrible at some point. Okay, so how about we make the Henry fan babies mad and explore that today. Speaking of mistakes, do you know what would be a major mistake? Not subscribing to Minecraft Nightmare, a new top 10 channel featuring yours truly and my friend Jay. Okay, scary Minecraft all the time. So if you like this and want to see it about a game made of blocks, head on over there. Okay, the link is in the description. I'll know if you did it or not. Okay, the first video goes out Friday and it features the King of Cheese himself. So you better be there. Okay, now let's do it. In a 10 spring lock suits. While Henry may not have designed the spring lock suits, he certainly let Afton create them and then allowed for their use in the restaurants, despite them being incredibly dangerous to employees, only putting them out of commission when someone got hurt, and not being proactive because they were literal death machines. Okay, you make separate animatronics and then you have separate costumes, okay? That's the right move, the smart move, the safe move. But this so-called businessman thought, yeah, I'll put the safety of my employees at risk by making them wear a hot as balls suit filled with robotic parts that, with even the slightest bit of moisture, will cause those robotic parts to snap back into place. What can go wrong? We want to talk about Willy Wonka's OSHA violations? Imagine FNAF's OSHA violations. Damn, it's actually a good list idea. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. But seriously, Henry definitely had to pay someone off to keep that thing under wraps. God damn. And I thought that William was the one paying everyone off. Maybe not. And at 9, stayed open. Not only did this man allow for the spring lock suits to be used by staff, even if it was in their contract, it shouldn't have needed to be in their contract anyway. But this man kept the company going after losing how many kids? His daughter, Afton's 2 kids, 5 more in 1985, and then however many that kept getting slaughtered by Afton every time they reopened. By reopening over and over, Henry gave Afton a location to kill, even when he got Afton banned from the location and tried using facial recognition tech to keep him out. Okay, Afton made the robots. Of course, he's not going to add himself to the facial recognition, if it was even an actual thing to begin with. But this man reopened like how many times before finally biting it in FNAF 6? Like seriously, before Springtrap was even a thing, they reopened like 3 times at least. Why did this man think that any of this was a good idea? In FNAF 6, he says that he wants everyone to forget about the tragedies that were caused by these restaurants, but do that by closing the restaurants before Springtrap is created, so we can all just live in peace. And at 8, left it to fate. FNAF 6 was supposed to be the end of the Afton story. That's what Henry set out to do in that game. Make sure that nobody remembered what happened there, despite the parents of the victims definitely remembering. However, this dumbass figured that the fire didn't work the last time, so a second one surely will. And in fact, he was so confident in his plan, for whatever stupid reason, that he actually let himself die in this process to leave nobody remembering what happened. But like I said, even if Henry and William are dead, the parents of the victims still know. And as we learned from security breach duffel bags, they aren't the only parents who remember too, citing the missing children from the Pizzaplex as happening again. If Henry had stuck around to see if the job was really done, like a round of Hearthstone, maybe William wouldn't have been able to possess Vanny and come back yet again to wreak more havoc. The Pizzaplex's missing children are a direct result of Henry just being a straight up moron, and you can't tell me any different. Okay, he should have lit the place up, smashed everything that survived the fire, and then he could off himself if he wanted to, okay? But like, make sure the job's done first. And at 7, he didn't call the cops. Let's look at this logically, alright? This man knew what was going on and that Afton had some shady shit going down. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put a green wristband on Charlie, right? Well, if he knew this man was up to something and was fearing for his daughter's safety because of it, why didn't he make the call to the police and say like, hey man, so William Afton is the one who's offing all those kids and the one that you've been looking for, alright, so go get him. Like, maybe he didn't have any proof, but he could certainly have kept an eye on him or gotten the police to keep an eye on him. But he didn't. And instead, He did a whole load of other shit that in reality did nothing to actually hinder William. He did some stuff to put him out of commission for like 30 years, but only 30 years. This man could have actually stopped him, but instead chose to keep his mouth shut. You know what they say, if you see something, say something. Well, at least they say that on the Toronto Transit. I don't know if they really say it anywhere else. And at 6, sealed Afton. Speaking of putting William out of commission for 30 years, why did he do that? Okay, it seems like a dumb idea compared to some other alternatives. Maybe he tried other avenues before he actually ended up hiding those rooms away, but like, in reality, we can't be sure and we have to go off of what we know. So, this man sees Afton stuck spasming in the spring bodysuit and straight up thinks, yeah, let's just hide this. And not like, oh, let's put him out of the misery so we can also put an end to the killing spree once and for all. I mean, it seems like the biggest mistake made by any FNAF character is the choice to make William suffer. Like, if we just put him to the sword, we would all be able to go home safely. But no, he locks Afton in a room where he hopes that he'll starve to death and suffer. Stupid idea. You could have just ended it then and there. You seem to have no other qualms in killing him literally at any other time, so what's the deal here? It's not like someone's gonna know it was you, or know that the animatronic actually contained a person. Even the death penalty nowadays doesn't make people suffer. Okay, don't be dumb for your own petty vengeance. Let them suffer in prison where they're probably gonna get killed anyway. Halfway through into number 5, freed Afton. Not only does this man lock Afton away in a secret room prison in an old pizzeria, he then ends up letting him be set free. Henry, being the owner of the company and sole proprietor after Afton's death or disappearance, he would be the only person who would most definitely be the one to have the final sale and be the one to sign off on a sale of the FNAF 3 location. He would have had to, however, he sells it knowing that Afton is damn well trapped inside. I don't know why this guy thought it was a good idea, but here we are. William is then set free by the people who bought it because they see that the original blueprints have a secret room, and then lo and behold, William is freed again and thirsty for blood. Sure, Henry might have thought that William was dead, but he thought that those guys would stumble upon a dead body in a secret room all sealed up and then what, just ignore it? Or freak out and get rid of it themselves? Would they even know that it was a dead body? Because like, they might have just thought that it was a really, really old animatronic. Like they do when it starts moving. If it starts moving, I'd be like, okay, there's no way this is an old animatronic. So like, what was Henry's plan here? It doesn't seem to make any sense. Like, who would think that this is a good idea? Especially after owning a business for that long. And at 4, Alivened. While he might have had issues in killing Afton for whatever reason, he seems to be just fine offing his son when he finally gets the chance. And by his son, I mean Afton's son. I mean, like, in both the fires that were set by Henry, FNAF 3 and FNAF 6, Michael was there both times, and he didn't seem to care that Michael was in the building. He didn't even give Michael the opportunity to exit the building in FNAF 6, despite there having been a way out planned. Quote from Henry's final speech: "And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be." He assumes that we also want to die in these halls, and then doesn't give us the chance to actually make the decision for ourselves. He just forces us to die since he doesn't give us a way out. I'm sorry, man, but that's murder, okay? Whether we wanted it or not. Assisted suicide is still illegal, at least for the majority of the states, from my understanding. So either way, this is a crime. But again, he doesn't give us the option to get out, making it more of a murder-suicide than an assisted self-offing. Getting close to the end in number 3, robotic recreation. Okay, losing a child is a horrific tragedy to have to go through, okay? I know that. It's happened in my family, and I know the toll it can take. But I'm gonna be honest here, okay? Nobody in my family has brought someone back by turning them into a robot and then implanting them with memories made using a tripod and a camera. Okay, Henry doing this not only leads to more grief, but also this basically child then has to go through some really traumatic stuff because they are a robot. Not to mention the fact that her adult version is also one of the killer animatronics that the guy who killed your daughter in the first place created. And it was possessed by the spirit of the killer's daughter, who was also killed by that specific animatronic. So yeah, this is some pretty weird stuff to say the absolute least. Not to throw in how it kinda comes out of left field and threw literally everything we knew about the series for a loop, despite everyone not really thinking that it matters in the grand scheme of things. Just like, why are the books the way they are? Like, why do I have to deal with this on a daily basis? Why is this my life? How is this my job? So many questions that nobody has the answers for, okay? Not even my therapist, who strangely keeps going missing every time they ask me about encrypted conversations that I don't remember having. And ultimately, in at number 2, arson. Alright, don't get me wrong. I love fire, and I've made jokes about arson multiple times on this channel. I'm actually surprised the police haven't contacted me. We're not that popular, but like, we love a little anarchy, you know? But this man has some serious pyromaniac tendencies from the looks of things. He sets one fire in 2023, and then proceeds to light another one not long after. Like, bro, what's your deal? You literally made an entire Pizzaplex just to set on fire. Why are you so fire happy all of a sudden? Okay, it didn't even work. Literally every time we set a fire, it doesn't do the one thing that we wanted it to do, which is kill Afton for good. He survived FNAF 3. He survived FNAF 6. He survived the security breach fire only to be grabbed by the blob. So clearly, fire isn't working, but Henry doesn't stop. And yes, the FNAF security breach fires were actually thanks to Henry, since it was almost certainly the same system that he had used to set the fires in the FNAF 6 location, since this Freddy Fazbear's is the simulated one from that game. But this man keeps setting fire after fire with no actual accomplishments because of it. Dude, take a hint. It's not working. And finally, in at number 1, neglect. Now, this might be a controversial topic. This may make a few Henry stans mad. But you know what? It needs to be said. If you're suspicious of your business partner and concerned for your daughter's well-being, you don't just give her a special bracelet that makes her a priority to the one security bot you have, okay? That's one thing you can do, but you don't just do that, especially when that bot can be disabled by simply placing a couple of boxes on top of it. You keep her at home as much as you can, you keep an eye on her, and you should be doing that anyways, because, you know, she's like 3 years old. You don't give her a bracelet and then let her run around amongst the big kids at a pizza place where she gets locked outside of and then subsequently killed. Bro, no. How did she even get locked outside? How was that possible? How could that even happen? Neglect. This man put a green bracelet on his 3-year-old daughter and said, "That's enough," and then neglected her, hoping that the green bracelet would just protect her. Like, bro, what the hell? Especially when the man you think may hurt her is the one who built the animatronics in the first place and knows exactly how to disable it when the time comes. The worst thing Henry has done was straight up just get his daughter killed. He suspected William and then didn't report it to the cops. Could we at least get him like a conspiracy to commit charge? And then he thinks that a bracelet is going to be enough to keep her safe thanks to an animatronic that William had designed. And it's Afton Robotics, dude. Holy crap. You can't fight me on this. You can't argue in the comments. You know I'm right. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Shower Main Connor Monroe. I'll see you in another video. I'm gonna go hug my sister.